Shabbat Shalom, my friends, and a special shout out this morning to my granddaughter, Hannah Davids, 10 years old, who is now using this Facebook posting in order to see her Saba at least once a week. Hi, Hannah. Hi, Beth. Virtual hugs, kids. I don't know about all of you, but in this dystopian world, I am always looking for a siman tov, a good omen, anywhere that I can find it. This Shabbat, we conclude our reading of the book of Leviticus by focusing on its two closing Sedras, Bahar and Bechukotai. Two Sedras, and we have two good omens. The first is that we will have a virtual SIYYUM this week, a joyous celebration marking the concluding of the study of one of the books of Torah. Okay, good. So what pleasure does a SIYYUM bring? That's obvious. Pickled herring, gefilte fish, bamba, cinnamon ragalach, and for some of you, chocolate ragalach. I know that these are Ashkenazi delights. So if anyone in our community can tell me the kinds of foods in the Mizrahi and Sephardi communities that are special for a SIYYUM, please let me know. I want to know this. And we will say to each other, HAZAK HAZAK v'nit HAZAK. Let us be strong. Let us be strong. Let us strengthen each other. Yes, let's strengthen each other. Isn't that a great message for this time of a horrendous pandemic? But the second Siman Tov is equally as positive. We are ending the study of the only book of the Torah that contains two full Sedras devoted exclusively to a variety of diseases. For the next 11 months, no more skin diseases, no more infestations of houses, no more quarantines, and no more isolation. Yehi ratzon milefanecha. May such an achievement in our lives speedily become God's will. I found yet another Siman Tov this past Wednesday. The Santa Monica beaches were opened under very tight limits. Wearing our masks and gloves, Risa and I walked in the surf Wednesday afternoon. The sound of the tide rushing in, the push of the waves against our feet and legs, the warmth of the sun, the joyous mewing of seagulls. Baruch atah Adonai shehecheyanu. What a glorious feeling of a sort of limited, constrained kind of rebirth. But as one says in Arabic, shway shway, slowly, slowly, I believe there will be good times coming. Shway shway, or in the Hebrew, la'at, la'at. Our twin Sedras begin with Leviticus 25, verse 1 and following. But I'd like to focus today on Leviticus 26:3. God says through Moses, Im bechukotai telechu. If they follow the divine commandments, and the Israelites are told that they will be granted extraordinary blessings. The rains will fall in their season. The crops will be abundant. There will be peace in the land. And people will grow in number and in strength. God will dwell in our midst. But, v'im lo tishma'u li. But if the Israelites choose not to listen to God, not to walk in God's ways, then here it comes. Our people will be stricken by diseases that will destroy their crops and diseases that will corrupt their bodies. Wild beasts will attack us. Our enemies will overwhelm us. Our cities will be laid waste. Even the text seems to lament its own harshness here, because a scribe in ancient times closed off this section by writing, "Even so, God promises, I will sustain the covenant and remember my people for favor." Okay, So I guess we should be grateful. Let me be clear. I humbly disagree, even as I vigorously disagree with some of the specifics of this kind of theodicy, this explanation of God's justice. No, a pandemic is not God's way of expressing displeasure with us, period. I reject as well preachy pietisms that begin with the lofty question, what is the earth trying to tell us? Because the earth cannot speak, the earth has no conscious awareness, the earth is as it is. It reacts as it reacts. It is a reflection of natural law, material existence, except, of course, in the rich metaphors of poets, philosophers, and mystics. We are more likely to be living in Camus' world, a world in which the greatest threat to our lives comes from the raw fact that we are alive. Because everything that lives will die. Disease may very well be a not surprising byproduct of how we have chosen to treat our world, but disease is neither a punishment for our disobedience nor a conscious backlash from an abused planet. It just is. We can learn to live with it, or to combat it, or to treat it, or to subdue it, or to heal it. Or we can succumb. Let's drill down a bit. We have too easily absorbed one part of the Exodus story while consciously, subconsciously missing what might be its most salient focus. Over and over again, Moses says to Pharaoh in the name of God, Shalach et ami vayavduni. Send my people out. Let my people go, first part, so that they might serve me. We love to hold on to the first part, don't we? Let my people go. And pay little or no attention at all to the second part of the verse, so that they may serve me. Pinchas Peli, who was a great Jewish educator, had this to say about our Sedra. A single word has sometimes lost or won an empire. There is a single word in the Torah, in our Sedra, that has caused a whole new world of moral and religious thought. It is a short word consisting of just 2 letters, im. The Hebrew word for if. According to Peli, im, if, introduces what he calls the covenantal imperative. The interdependence between the Jewish people's destiny and our moral conduct. Interdependence. Not a quid pro quo. That im, that if, is not a structure of course, reward, and punishment. It is a structuring of our reality. We Jews don't serve any of this world's pharaohs. What is to be unique about us has nothing to do with any innate or biological superiority. What is unique about us is that we have declared ourselves to be servants of the loftiest moral teachings of which we are capable of imagining. We can legitimately translate servants of God to mean devoted to humane behavior. Or we can translate servants of God to mean living as an eternal people, uniquely and collectively devoted to repairing a broken world, to healing broken souls, to seeing godliness in every person's eyes, no matter their race or ethnicity or gender. Or we can translate servants of God to mean a commitment to keep Torah alive, to keep our people alive, to keep our souls alive, to keep hope alive, and interdependence between who we are, how we act, and the world which we inhabit. What's that two-letter word? Im. We were freed from Egypt because we Jews can never be servants of any Pharaoh. We are unyielding servants of a moral vision that has already transformed much of our world, even as we still have quite a long way to go. Im bechukotai telechu, if we choose to live, to serve such a vision, then the lives we lead, the lives that our children and our children's children will lead, will surely be blessed by our own deeds. Here we go. HAZAK HAZAK v'nitchazek. Let us be strong. Let us be strong. Let us reach out and strengthen one another. Shabbat Shalom. And yes, we will see each other next week. Stay safe. Oh, bye-bye, Hannah. See you soon.